A roar cuts through the air. The game begins, and the lion is the one setting the rules. It charges straight in, closing the distance like a heavy hammer, the target's formation collapsing in total panic. A precisely timed pounce shuts down every escape. Powerful paws holding firm as a decisive move ends the chase. When another predator approaches, the lion drives it back without hesitation, every step forward reclaiming control. When the throne is challenged, the clash erupts, and only one question remains: who can hold their ground? Lions are among the rare social predators in the cat family, living in pride structures whose collective strength can exceed 400 pounds. Their massive bodies, short bursts of speed, and jaws capable of delivering a bite force close to 1,000 pounds per square inch give them an advantage in critical moments. Yet their greatest strength does not lie in muscle, but in the quiet coordination between individuals, especially the females. Within the African ecosystem, lions are both dominant and regulating, shaping the rhythm of life across the plains. In the world of lions, the greatest threat sometimes doesn't come from another species, but from those of the same bloodline. When an invisible boundary is crossed or breeding rights are challenged, the atmosphere of the plains tightens instantly. At that point, confrontation is no longer a choice, but a biological inevitability. When a new coalition of male lions emerges, often an ambitious pair or trio, they do not arrive to ask for a place. They come to take the throne. The reigning kings are pushed into a corner on their own land, where every step back is not just a loss of territory, but the collapse of an entire dynasty. A fully grown warrior delivers powerful strikes carrying the weight of destiny itself, enough to make a rival hesitate in an instant. But these struggles rarely end with a single decisive blow. They become battles of endurance, closing in, forcing angles, and locking against each other with immense pressure. The plains turn into a vast tactical arena, where the wiser contender exploits every brief pause in an opponent's breathing to wear down resolve. When the dust finally settles and the outcome is clear, the weaker side withdraws, yielding control to the new coalition. From here, a new and turbulent chapter begins. Young offspring tied to the former order are removed without hesitation. This is not a story of emotion, but an evolutionary mechanism designed to optimize time and resources in a harsh environment. At the ecological level, these internal confrontations are nature's way of renewing bloodlines and reestablishing order. The balance of the plains is not always preserved through peace, but through intense conflict, ensuring that only the strongest foundations are allowed to endure. Spotted shadows appear like living arrows, skimming close to the ground with an untiring rhythm. African wild dogs, each weighing around 60 pounds, are capable of sustaining speeds near 45 miles per hour during long pursuits. Their strength does not lie in any single individual, but in tight formation and a hunting success rate approaching 80%. Yet that precision always meets a boundary known as dominance. From the edge of the brush, a massive muscular presence steps forward. The lion does not need to match speed. Its mere presence is enough to disrupt the rhythm of the entire pack. One moment out of sync, one individual falling behind, is enough for overwhelming force to seal the fate of a single member. Tension rises when the paths of the two species intersect near a denning area. Lionesses show no tolerance, pressing forward through sheer physical authority and forcing the wild dogs to break formation to preserve their lives. After brief confrontations along the edge of the territory, the pack chooses retreat, traveling more than 30 miles a day toward areas with lower lion density. They accept short-term hunger in exchange for safety. This is not just an encounter, but a test of spatial control. Lions regulate pressure on wild dog populations, while wild dogs, through discipline and sharp awareness, survive by knowing when to withdraw, adapting with remarkable skill under the shadow of a giant. Across the vast plains, there exists a long-standing rivalry that is nearly impossible to resolve. Lions and hyenas do not compete only for food, they compete for status. Here, every meal is a statement of power, and every struggle can reverse in an instant. The hunter of today can become the one under pressure tomorrow. Spotted hyenas are the strategists of the plains. A full-grown individual weighs around 140 pounds, possesses a bite force close to 1,100 pounds per square inch, and lives within large matriarchal societies. Their strength doesn't lie in a single charge, but in numbers, endurance, and disciplined coordination. When conditions favor them, they advance in formation, vocalizing, pressing in, limiting retreat, and using sound and movement to wear down lionesses' resolve, then claiming the meal in a takeover that unfolds right on the open ground. The balance often shifts when the roar of a male lion carries from several miles away. A single massive silhouette stepping forward can cause the hyena formation to hesitate, as numerical advantage begins to fracture under overwhelming presence and fearless authority. To maintain long-term control, lions also tighten their hold around denning areas along territorial edges, forcing hyenas to spread out and remain constantly alert, curbing the future strength of large, resilient hunting clans at the source. It is an unending dance of survival, where collective intelligence and individual power contest every stretch of the plains. Fast like an explosion. The cheetah stands as the symbol of pure speed. Weighing around 120 pounds, with a spine that flexes like a spring, it accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in roughly 3 seconds, one of nature's most remarkable mechanical feats. But the price of that burst is fragility. After every chase, body temperature rises sharply, forcing the cheetah to stop and recover in the open plains. It is in that vulnerable pause that the lion enters. Without competing for speed, it imposes dominance through mass, strength, and sheer presence. Once the cheetah is exhausted, its only advantage disappears instantly, leaving a split-second choice: abandon the hard-won prey or face immediate danger. That is why, after bringing down a target, the cheetah must eat quickly, refuel, and withdraw before other predators arrive. A single moment of delay is enough to lose everything. On the African plains, speed allows the cheetah to survive, but it does not guarantee safety. Power and authority still belong to the lion, while the cheetah holds its place only through constant vigilance and careful judgment with every run across a land that does not forgive mistakes. A lion's prey can range from antelope to zebra, but this time the challenge stands on an entirely different scale. An adult giraffe. Weighing more than 2,500 pounds, many times heavier than a single lion, this giant renders individual strength ineffective. Against such overwhelming size, solo power means little. Only coordination and precise calculation create an opening. The approach unfolds in silence. Using uneven terrain to their advantage, the pride spreads out, closing the circle like a tightening clamp. As the distance narrows, the air grows tense. Yet the giraffe does not yield easily. Its towering legs, like massive pillars, deliver powerful kicks capable of stopping any careless predator. The struggle becomes a test of endurance. The lions do not rush. They focus on disrupting balance, gradually wearing down stability. One unsteady step is all it takes for nature's order to shift. It is a lesson in persistence. When facing challenges of immense scale, unity, and intelligent strategy are the only tools capable of turning the impossible into reality. From the moment it leaves the cliff, the sky immediately changes hands. Its wingspan cuts the wind like a blade, its muscles pull the air into a clean flight line, and its eyes lock onto a target from a distance that feels impossible. A short dive turns height into a decisive advantage, and when its talons close, Any mistimed move below is instantly over. On this stage, who truly deserves to rule the sky? Along the sheer rock faces of the Caucasus Mountains, adult ibex, weighing up to 260 pounds, move across ledges barely 3 inches wide. At elevations thousands of feet above the ground, thin air and gusting winds turn every step into a test. Specialized hooves, with hard rims gripping stone and soft pads clinging to the cold surface, allow them to trace sparse grasses and mineral salts, rare lifelines in a vertical world. But even in places that seem unreachable, safety lasts only for a moment. From the cloud layer above, a golden eagle with a wingspan exceeding 7 feet silently fixes its gaze on the mountainside. Under normal conditions, the ruler of the sky targets only young animals weighing around 15 pounds to limit risk. Then winter seals off food sources, forcing familiar rules to shift. In rare situations, 2 adults coordinate a paired hunt. The target is a young ibex weighing nearly 60 pounds, far beyond the limit of a single close approach. The female eagle presses the angle, guiding the ibex backward along a ledge as thin as a thread. At the same time, the male dives from above, approaching speeds near 200 miles per hour, compressing space and breaking an already fragile balance. The decisive factor is not muscle strength, but how gravity itself is used. When footing disappears, the terrain completes the task. The pair withdraws from the cliff, carrying food back to the nest. On the rock wall, fate favors those who can turn weight and the void into advantage. Beneath the dense forest canopy lies the domain of monkeys weighing over 10 pounds, fleeting shadows that appear and vanish between layers of leaves. Living high above the ground in groups, they build a tight surveillance network, moving while watching, rarely leaving a dangerous gap exposed. Yet even within this maze, there is a predator born to slip through. The crowned eagle and the harpy eagle, masters of forest hunting, possess short, broad wings and a long, rudder-like tail, allowing them to maneuver through thick canopy with exceptional agility. Their strategy relies on ambush and patience, remaining motionless at a high perch, tracking a monkey troop until its rhythm of alertness slips, even for a few seconds. From above, the eagle glides in almost without sound, using the group's blind spots to close in. At the moment of contact, powerful legs and large talons secure control, and the eagle immediately pulls the target away from the high-risk zone of counter-reaction. If the target proves heavier than expected and cannot be lifted at once, the eagle often conserves energy, maintaining its hold and dragging it to a safer location, storing it and returning at a more favorable time. Within the order of the forest, only a few rare moments like these are enough to keep the rhythm of balance from ever slowing. Across lakes and coastal shallows, fish are a vital link that sustains eagles. With hundreds of fish species hidden beneath the surface, the water turns into a mirror that can mislead the eye with thin, shifting ripples. For an eagle, the water is not a barrier, but a math problem of angles that demands a precise answer. From above, it circles, constantly adjusting to cancel out the refractive illusion. When a fish rises close to the surface, the hunt ignites. The eagle tucks its wings, borrows gravity in a fast drop, and turns height into a decisive strike. Contact happens in an instant. Without lingering, a powerful wing beat lifts the eagle and its catch back into the air, returning the lake to a calm that looks as if nothing happened. Under the scorching sun of the African savanna, Thomson's gazelles appear like streaks of speed in motion. With an average weight of about 77 pounds, their compact build and explosive reflexes let them reach nearly 50 miles per hour in just a few strides. Their survival does not rely on individual strength, but on tight formation discipline and constant vigilance. The tragedy begins when a young one, weighing about 9 pounds, drifts away from the herd. From above, a martial eagle closes the distance with a short dive that is cold, direct, and decisive. Too small to keep safe spacing, the calf is stopped in an instant, as if the chase ends before it even takes shape. In another moment, the mother Thomson's gazelle turns to face the threat. Her short horns dip low, then drive upward with fierce determination to reclaim her young. But the giant of Africa's skies does not release easily. It pins the calf down, shifts its body to hold position, and drives pressure forward with powerful wing beats, forcing the defender to give ground. And when a narrow opening appears, the calf is lifted from the earth and carried to a high branch, where the rules of the savanna no longer apply. Under the harsh desert sun, a lizard nearly dissolves into a landscape of broken stone. Rough scales and muted tones let it vanish into cracks, misleading most ground-level threats. Down low, it is a master of camouflage. From above, an eagle circles with patience, scanning the terrain like a maze of signals. Its eyes, sharp as precision glass, are said to be about 8 times stronger than human vision, catching even the smallest movement. The moment the lizard exposes itself while pausing, the eagle folds its wings and turns its body into a calculated falling arc. The rising speed is not for show, but to lock the timing. The close approach happens in an instant. Talons nearly 2 inches long clamp down and cut off every escape route. If the prey still struggles, the pointed beak steps in at once to maintain control. Everything ends cleanly, without dragging on. An eagle's diet becomes most demanding when the target is a snake, because here, a single mistimed moment carries an immediate cost. A puff adder can remain motionless like a hidden trap on dry leaf litter, with venom that tends to cause severe swelling, pain, and tissue damage. Cobras and mambas are different, with neurotoxins that affect the nervous system and turn every bit of distance into a fragile boundary. This is not a long chase, but a contest of approach angle, reflex, and discipline. The opponents best suited for snakes are specialists such as the brown snake eagle and the crested serpent eagle, known for diets centered on snakes. They succeed not through recklessness, but through optimized anatomy and hunting habits. Legs covered in thick, armor-like scales, compact and precise strikes, and a fixed rule that never changes. Secure control from a safer position first, then tighten only after stability is achieved. In semi-desert regions or along rocky coastlines, the eagle does not rush. It circles high, waiting for the snake to reveal its rhythm when it moves onto warm stone or rises near the water's surface. When the opening appears, the talons clamp the critical point, and a gripping force of about 400 pounds per square inch shuts down any sudden reaction before the snake can turn. Hunting snakes is not a display of strength, but a test of patience, clean entry angles, and absolute discipline. In the harsh cycle of the wild, no force remains undefeated forever. The lion survives by staying resilient, adaptable, and knowing exactly when to advance and when to withdraw. Every step serves as a reminder that power is always fragile, yet commanding. If this journey has been worth watching, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel to stay connected. Nature is still telling its story, and we will continue to bring the most authentic moments to light.